All right, guys. So this week we have been looking at our focus on reading strategy, which has been visualizing. So to finish up for the week, this is going to be our last activity before we move on to a different focus on reading strategy next week. So just to recap, visualizing is a skill that is essential for building reading comprehension. So we know that when readers lose their mental pictures, all of your comprehension is lost as well. So the meaning behind the text and what you're actually reading. As we read, we create mental pictures of what is happening in the story as it unfolds based on what we already know and understand about the world around us. We are tapping into our prior knowledge, so making connections, and we did that focus on reading strategy last week. So inferring information, so finding bits and pieces of information that might not be directly told to you within the text, and paying attention to details. Characters are created in our minds, and our own unique version of the story begins to play out in our imaginations, just like a movie. So, this is exactly why some of us are rather disappointed when the book version of our favourite movie hits the big screen. Definitely know that's happened to me before because when you're reading a book, you're building up this massive picture in your head on what exactly it's going to look like, and then you go to the movies and you're all excited. Your favorite book's coming out in a movie, and you sit down and you watch the movie, and sometimes it might be exactly what you envisioned in your head, or other times it might be completely different. You might be left feeling a little bit disappointed or underwhelmed. So sometimes you can get upset when your mental picture doesn't match the what the director has picked as the roles or scenes in that movie. Okay, so your job today, and I thought this is a bit of a fun activity. It's called Is It True? Now, this is a visualizing activity. Okay, and on each slide, I think I've got 3 or 4 slides after this, and I'm going to do an example together with you guys on this slide here. So on each slide, you will see an image or an illustration. Okay, so in this one here, you can see a guy running along with what looks like a kite in the sky and some objects that are spaced out on the sand. Okay, your job on each slide is to read this text or this paragraph, and you're down here in this little box of writing, you're going to state whether that text is true or whether there is some information in that text which might be untrue or leading false information to what you're visualizing in that text. So it's connecting the text to the visual and working out whether they are similar or whether there's words in there that just don't match up. So I'm going to read this one out loud to you, but the rest of them you're going to read yourself. So a barefoot man began running across the beach with a kite flying behind him. The kite's purple tails trailed in the gusty wind. It looked like it was on a mission as it headed higher and higher into the pale blue sky. Pairs of wooden chairs squatted on the sandy beach, and 3 abandoned beach shelters stood looking out to sea. Alright, now looking at this text and connecting it to the picture, we've got to think about, and I will try and break down each sentence at a time. So, first sentence says, a barefoot man began running across the beach with a kite flying behind him. At the moment, I can see that sentence, what I visualize in my head as I'm reading that, yes, it appears to be true. Okay, the guy is running along behind him with no shoes and the kite is behind him. The kite's purple tails trailed in the gusty wind. I can see that too. That's what I'm visualizing connects with the picture. Add to the text. It looked like it was on a mission as it headed higher and higher into the pale blue sky. Pairs of wooden chairs squatted on the sandy beach, and 3 abandoned beach shelters stood looking out at sea. All right, now as I'm reading that text back through and I get to the end, I notice something that isn't true. It's saying that there are 3 abandoned beach shelters stood looking, whereas I can only see 2. So when I write in the box, not everything in this text is completely true. So I'm going to write, and I'm just going to zoom out. And I'm going to zoom out again. And I'm going to get my mouse back on. Okay. Sorry. And I'm going to type over the top of this box and I'm going to write, oh, sorry, I'm all in capitals. I'm going to start my sentence with a capital. In this text, it does not appear to be correct. When I get to the end sentences, there are some words that do not appear to match the information. Okay, so I'm saying that my visual and my writing do not match up. I want to have an example. What is the part that you notice that doesn't match up? And I want you to be detailed about it. I notice that in the visual, there are only 2 beach shacks on the sand. This is incorrect, as the text that I read states that there are 3. Right, so if I read that back, is this text true? In this text, it does not appear to be correct. When I get to the end sentences, there are some words that do not appear to match the information. I notice that in the visual, there are only 2 beach shacks on the sand. This is incorrect, as the text that I read states that there are 3. Okay, so your job when you go to the next few slides is to look at the picture, read the writing, and then answer the statement, is it true? And I want you to tell me, why is it true? Why does it match up? Why does all of the sentences match up to the picture? Or why does it not match up? What are the differences that you can spot? All right, guys, good luck.